To be. All right, so now we're going to turn to Sister Irene O'Neill, and we're so pleased to have Sister Irene join us. She is also a visionary and is the founder and president of Sisters Rising Worldwide. Sister Irene and I have spoken many times and have started some collaborations that we hope will continue. She is a Sister of St. Joseph, president of founder of Sisters Rising Worldwide, as I mentioned. She's had extensive experience in leadership roles with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, including serving as executive director of their Ministries Foundation for more than 2 decades. She's worked tirelessly to empower sisters globally to address critical issues in their communities. Sister Irene.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be here with everybody. Wow, this is a great gathering. As Gail said, I've been raising funds for sisters for really about 30 years. And it's been a great ministry because the sisters need the funding. Anyway, if you think about Sisters Rising Worldwide as a piece of your puzzle, I know that of your funding puzzle or resource puzzle. And the reason that Sisters Rising Worldwide began was because over those years, I ran into a lot of people who said, boy, if I knew where the sisters were, I'd help them. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to find out where all the sisters are. And so it led me on a hunt with a couple of other sisters to find out where's the list? Where's the list of all the sisters around the world? And we'll find out what they need and help them with resources. And we discovered in short order that there was no list and that the sisters were, the orders were pretty much siloed. And whenever the orders were able to find each other, there was just great collaboration, great resource sharing, but it just wasn't around the whole globe. So that really was began the impetus of really pulling together Sisters Rising Worldwide. And what we realized is that a couple of things. One is that we had to build a platform or some place where the sisters could gather and find each other. And the other piece is that we knew that donors want to help sisters solve the root cause of poverty. They know, and we know that sisters know the root causes of poverty around, wherever you are, because you're there. That's why you know. So we ended up building a platform called, we call it the Peace Room, and I'm going to share it now for those of you who have not seen it yet. Some of you might be online. All right, let's see. I'm hoping that you can see this. Let me see.
You can see it.
Is it being shared?
Lori, when I ask.
All right, you see the map?
We can sure see it, sister.
Okay, excellent. All right, I gotta move. Our faces are in the way for me. All right, so this is what we call the Peace Room, and it is where sisters can get when they come into the Peace Room. So you onboard the Peace Room. Once you're in here, you can tell us what you do and what you need to solve the root cause of the poverty around you. And we know that you know a lot of it, and particularly that you in healthcare are running into immediate needs. So let me just orient you to this map a little bit. So when you see, I'm up in the left-hand corner here where it says World View, and it says people, programs, funding, and crisis alerts. So right now, I'm just going to point to people. There are 341 sisters who are on the site right now. Sisters Rising Worldwide has funded 125 programs. We have 27 programs happening right now that we are in the process of funding and that are queuing up into the next quarter. We fund programs every quarter. We have one crisis alert that's happening right now that's a different thing. A crisis is something immediate and needs something. Could be, floods, could be, hurricanes or whatever. And when it needs to happen right away, and then we just go out to donors and, ask people to see if they'd help us. Now, when I look at this people, just look at the people. If I click on this little orange spot here, I'm gonna click on it. See how it shows me where all the sisters are that are onboarded. It shows just the people. If I click on the programs, it shows me the map shows me where the programs are that we've funded or they're in the process of funding. I can just keep going across. These are the ones that are active right now. And then the crisis alert, which happens to be in Uganda right now. So this worldview is replicated. I'm going to browse, I'm going to back. So each of these, so right now you can see in the United States, there's 132 sisters who are onboarded. They've only surfaced 16 programs for us to fund. But we can go, let's just take, you can see the whole world is here. I'm just going to go to India. I'll just click on India. So the goal is that I want to be able to click on a country. I want to know where the sisters are, what they're doing, and what they need. That's the bottom line, just very simple. And sisters are the ones that tell us what they're doing and what they need. So here's India. And India has, here's the names of the sisters. There's 19 sisters that have come into the peace room. And you can see their names here. So it's easy to find them. And then it also lists their programs. But let's just go into, let's see what Swampna is doing. So I can click on her name. And her information comes up here. She tells me what the congregation is and what she does. What is she working in? And as typical of sisters, and I'm sure all of you who are in healthcare, you're also doing education, empowering women. You're doing a lot of other things as well. And so is Swampna. So here's the areas that she's involved in. She tells us a little bit about herself. We're not going to take time to read it. I want to just show you how you go. But look at this. I can click over to program. So what is she doing? So there comes her program. Her program comes up. I can click on the program. And up comes the programs. Here's all the programs in India. I could go up and down like this. But this is her program. And what happens is when the sister needs funding, she has to say, what is the situation? What's the need, basically? So the summary of the situation. What is causing that situation? Is it lack of transportation? Is it lack of water, lack of education, lack of job? There's a lot of reasons why all the causes are different. And then the sister tells us what is she attempting to do to solve the root cause of this program? Does that make sense? Of course, I'm not going to hear from everybody. And then we have people put photos in as well. So this is it's a very complex system here, but it's simple. It is click on the country, find out who's there, what do they need, and I'm going to go back to browse here. So if I want to, I'm going to move our photos. If I want to find just the sisters in the world who are onboarded, who are working in health, I go up, I'm at the upper right-hand section here now in the search line, this drop-down box, and I can click health. And you see the numbers change? Did you see that? So the people who are here are the ones who are working in health, and they would be able to share best practices with each other. So sisters that come onboarded here, that get on the peace room, can talk to anybody who is also on the peace room about what are you doing and how's it going, or what can you help? Can you help me with it, or whatever? I could click on human trafficking. Here are the sisters working in human trafficking. See how that goes? Education, same thing. So it's handy. We know that the expertise of the sisters is like no other on the planet. And how sisters connect with each other is a whole different reality. there are a lot of NGOs and a lot of other organizations who are discovering us. And they're discovering that the sisters know the answer. So I'm going to tell you one little story of one where we were connecting with other with an NGO. There was the war in Ukraine. The people were spreading out to the countries surrounding the Ukraine. A lot of them are landing in a convent. A lot of them are going to the convents, right? And you all know that the nuns are helping the people. They ended up in a convent in Germany, and it was packed full. And it was late in the afternoon, and a family of 7 just came to the door. And the nuns literally could not say, "We have no room." They didn't know how to respond to this family. So the sister, who was a sister of Notre Dame, called a sister in the United States to say, "Can you help us?" And the sister in the United States said, "Well, let me call Irene. Let's see, let me just call Irene and see what we can do." That sister calls me in the United States, and I knew of an NGO in a person who does housing in Poland. I WhatsApped the person in Poland, and I said what the situation is. He said, "Let's get on a Zoom." We got on a Zoom, told the situation. There's a family of 7, the convent's full, and he said, "I can get him a home tonight." We're like, "How does that happen?" And he said, "Because we're connected to Airbnb." And so it's a matter of, with this map and with the sisters coming on, we're able to help each other almost at a surgical level. So anyway, it's really, I'm just telling you that story because we're here to help. Sisters Rising is a piece of your puzzle in terms of resources, sometimes best practices, sometimes funding, sometimes whatever it is, we're here to help. I also know that every sister has some incredible expertise because of your experience and your knowledge. So in the Peace Room, and I'm going over to the left side, we have in this dashboard here a resource library. I'm going to click on the resource library. We are just beginning to start to fill out this resource library with expertise that you all have that others may want or need. And so part of it right now, we have some videos and things just to help you get online and, to learn your way around the Peace Room. But again, up at the top here, see how we have these same categories. I'm going to click on health. Again, we're just beginning to fill this out. You all could help us fill this out. If I click on health, the internet seems to be a little slow here. Let me just wait and see. There we go. We have 3 stories in here. One is what's happening in South Sudan. Another one is a video on trauma healing. Another one is what kind of healing was happening in El Salvador with the gangs and the violence there. So it's a place where we can start sharing resources with each other. Anyway, I think that would be it would be great to be hearing from all of you on what you have, what the knowledge that you have as well. Let's see, what else can I show you here? So once you're in the Peace Room and you have a need for resources, we then take your request, and I'm going to switch over to our public website. This is the public website called srw.org that I'm going to click programs, where every quarter we put up new programs, and we invite donors to either give restricted gifts to these programs, or unrestricted gifts, which we then sprinkle about the program so that we fund the programs. So this is what it looks like. When you apply for funding from Sisters Rising Worldwide, your request comes with a letter from your congregation so that they also know that you're asking for the funding, because often the money goes to the headquarters and then they send it to you. But anyway, so you can see I can click on each one and it'll tell us what they're doing. Here's the summary of the situation. That's what's happening. This is how the funds are going to be used, and this is the response. How are the sisters going to solve this problem? So again, it's actually a very simple process. We know that you're busy. We didn't want to make it complicated. Does it make sense? I wish I could talk to everybody. I mean, I wish I could hear from everybody. But if you have any questions and you want to know any more information, you can find me at srw.org. srw.org. It stands for sistersrisingworldwide.org, basically.
We'll have that information. Sister
Got it.
Irene, anything else? Any questions for Sister Irene? If you have questions, you can put them in the chat. And our colleagues we have about 5 more minutes. We can do this. But I want to jump in real quickly and say there's a great collaboration opportunity between Global Sisters Report and Sisters Rising Worldwide. And Sister Irene and I have just started this because we often at Global Sisters Report are asked by people who read our stories, which are distributed widely, how they can help the sisters. The main issue has been sending money securely and not having the banks take the huge percentages off of the funds that they send. And so this has been like a wonderful way of collaborating because we as journalists don't do this. We don't facilitate money. You know, media companies do not do this. So there are great opportunities. And Sister Irene, we're working on landing pages. We can certainly fill up that resource library with the many, many stories that Global Sisters Report has done. Okay, any questions? And from my colleagues, I'm seeing if there's anything coming in. Yes, you will be getting a link to the Sisters Rising Worldwide, and it is a tremendous platform indeed. It's very well done, very well designed. And so with that, I'm going to wait 1 more minute. Starvini, is there anything else we wanted to say? The stories are endless, so no other questions.
Yeah, I have endless stories. They're really, I mean, the answers, the sisters are so creative around the world in terms of what they do to solve the problem. And as you all know, it's much less expensive to be solving the root cause than to deal with the symptoms for the rest of their life. So yeah. So come on the Peace Room. I look forward to seeing everybody there.
So there's a question about how we can get down to the Peace Room. So Sister Irene, how do they do that?
Okay, if you go to the website, srw.org. I'm going to see if I can open the chat. And there's a band there that says, right on the home page, it says, "Are you a sister? Go to the Peace Room." And I'm going to see if I can share it right now. Let's see. Is it sharing? There we go. All right, here's the website. Here's the website, srw.org. This is the front page. Now, do you see I'm going down here to this purple ribbon here? Do you see down here it says, "Are you a sister? Go to the Peace Room." You click on that and it will give you the instructions on how to get into the Peace Room. And the reason why we do that is we make sure everybody's a sister who's coming in. It's a very protected site for sisters. So anyway, that's why we have you come through the Peace Room first. So does it make sense? srw.org. Click on "Are you a sister?"
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Sister Irene. You're going to have quite a few sisters, I think, contacting you after this.
And I hope so.
There's also a lot of synergy with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Because one of the things we also look for is making sure that we lift up the sisters' work, because individual projects help make those goals, those larger goals, a reality. So thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Sister Endless to introduce our next presenter.